What is up, everybody? Welcome to the video. This one's going to be a bit different from my usual content, where instead of talking about one specific topic, I have a bunch of quotes that I want to share with you. I've been reading a lot and listening to a lot of podcasts with some very wise people, and I've learned a lot from them, and I figured why not share that with all of you. So let's jump into it. The first quote is, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." This is from Mo Gadot, I believe is how you say it. I'm not sure. He's apparently a happiness expert. I don't know how I feel about that label, but he talks about this in the context of actually losing his son. His son unfortunately passed away at the age of 21 due to a medical malpractice issue. And he said that there were a couple of ways he could handle this. He could be really upset. He could be extremely sad all the time, and nobody would really question that. They'd be like, yeah, no, that makes sense. You deserve to feel that way. And he said for a while he was, but then he realized, you know what? I could have all this pain and be like, well, in reality though, would I trade the fact that I had a son and I had him for 21 years? Absolutely not. And so I'm not going to cry because it's over. I'm going to smile because it happened and focus a lot of my energy on all the positive memories I have with him, because I would rather have those positive memories and the pain that I have now than never have had my son at all. The second quote is, "Don't talk about it, just do it." This is a quote that Nick Bare, who's pretty big in the fitness industry, he said this to Russ Swoll in the context of starting a powerlifting gym. Russ Swoll is a really strong, actually world record holding powerlifter. You guys can look him up on Instagram and YouTube. But he wanted to start a powerlifting gym. He had a lot of ideas on how to make it better compared to like a lot of the commercial gyms and make a better culture and environment for serious powerlifters. And he was telling Nick Bare about all his ideas and how he'd been thinking about starting this thing for 3 years. And Nick Bare was like, don't talk about it, just do it. And I love that quote because it's so simple, but it's so true. I find myself doing the same thing in my life where I have all these ideas of things that I want to do and try and start. And it's like, no, I shouldn't be like just talking about it and thinking about it. I need to have action, because if I don't take action, none of it means anything. Another quote I love is, "Limitations are perceptions." This is from Andres Hoffman. He's basically a young Iceman. I saw him get interviewed by Yes Theory. I thought it was really cool, the video that they made. But I love this quote, "Limitations are perceptions." One example in my own life of this is in the gym. I sort of set limitations on myself, like, oh, I can never be strong enough to squat 3 plates, or I could never be strong enough to bench 225. And those were limitations in my mind that I never thought I could pass. But once I sort of realized those were just perceptions that I had put on myself, and that so many other people had been able to hit those goals, then I was able to break through and get to it. Something that I remind myself a lot of is that if somebody else has done it, so can I. I remind myself that, in fact, about my YouTube channel. If somebody else is able to be successful on YouTube, so can I. I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to put in the effort and do my part, and I can do it. If other people can do it, so can I. This next quote is from Tiago Forte, the author of How to Build a Second Brain. This quote relates to productivity and sort of this idea of toxic productivity where, I feel like there's sort of a general switch in the internet to be like, oh, productivity is bad, it's all toxic, it's all beat yourself over the head, you have to accomplish things every single day, otherwise you're a worthless human being, and that's not good for self-love, that's not good for your long-term mental and physical health. I agree with that. I think that for me personally, I definitely have slipped into negative toxic cycles relating to productivity, but I also think that Tiago has a really cool perception on this, and what he says is how creativity makes it out into the world is productivity. That's what productivity is about. It's about designing systems so that all that creative process that's going on and the joy that comes from it can then actually make its way out into the world. Because the way I see it, I love creating videos, and one of my favorite parts about it is sharing it with all of you and, hearing from you and that tip that you learned that you then shared with me, I was able to apply it in my life and that made my life better. And that just makes me really excited. I love that idea of learning something and then teaching it to somebody else. I hope you guys never think on this channel that I'm an all-knowing guru, because I'm not at all. I'm on this journey of learning, and I just am sharing my learnings with you in the hopes that something was resonated with me and was helpful to me, that maybe it'll be helpful to you as well. This last one is, you are whatever you pretend to be. I believe it's from Kurt Vonnegut. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but I love this idea so much. And it's actually something James Clear talks a lot about in Atomic Habits as well. He talks about this idea where if we want to create consistent, successful habits, we first need to adopt the identity of somebody who does those habits. So for me, for example, I needed to first adopt the identity of being a bodybuilder, and then the consistency at the gym naturally followed. Once I saw myself as a bodybuilder, I was like, well, bodybuilders work out every single day, or a lot, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stay consistent with my training because now I see myself as a bodybuilder. And this quote really speaks to that idea of like, we can start by just pretending we are something, and then eventually we will become that thing. And it sort of is along the same lines of like manifestation too. Like if we can really picture ourselves in the position that we want to be in, we'll start to take actions that are going to get us to that position, and then it'll actually come true. I am going to end the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I have tons more quotes. I literally started this note 3 weeks ago because I just was like hearing and reading so many amazing quotes, and I was like, I need to jot these down so I remember them. So let me know if you want this to be like a more consistent thing, if you like these, because I haven't even shared all the quotes that I learned in the past 3 weeks. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Peace.